So there's a friend of mine, he lives on the West Coast and California, and he lives on a hill above a bay. Now this hill is big enough it would be called a mountain here in Minnesota, but there in California, it's a hill. And he's been in Eck a long time. He met Paul Twitchell in 1971. And he knows what life is about. Yet one morning he woke up and he was in the dregs. He was in despair. He was despondent. He didn't know what is going on. Where have I slipped to have fallen so far to feel like this, that life maybe is purposeless? What's going on? And he listened inwardly, and the nudge was, go for a walk on the beach. So he did. And this bay curves around, and there's a wharf, and then there's a stretch of beach. It's very flat. On the left-hand side, it's the Pacific Ocean. On the right, it's the beach. And as he's walking along, he sees a clump of colors over here, over to the right on the beach. And he's like, what am I looking at? Odds and ends of color and this lump over there. And he looks and he sees it's a human being, huddled up. And in my vision of this experience, I don't know if this person had suitcases or what, and backpack, and he knows there's a person there, and he's walking, and he kept walking. And the question in his mind was, should I go back? And the doubts came through of like, what can I possibly say to this person to help them? What can I possibly say? And there was this great uncertainty. Should I go back? And the inner voice of the Mahanta came to him to say, go back, go back. And so he went back and he approached. And he looked down, and it was a young woman in her 20s. And she was wearing a hoodie and just kind of sitting there, not looking up. And he gently said, are you all right? And she just kind of nodded, yes. And but her eyes were down. And then she lifted her gaze to look into his eyes. And her eyes were these huge, incredible, beautiful eyes. They were just dramatic. And they were dramatic, perhaps, with drama and trauma. I asked my friend, what did you experience when you saw that look? And what might have been going through her mind? And it was, I'm lost. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. What do I do next? And that was all unspoken. And then he said, well, do you meditate? Ever meditated? And she said, yes. And then he said, well, something that's worked for me, that's helped me when I need to see life in a new way, is this word Hu, H-U. And he sang it for her. And I asked him what happened next. And in those eyes of eternity, he saw a flicker, flickering. And I imagine her eyes flickered, but maybe then like a fire that dies down a little bit. the moment was over. And he very gently said, well, I'll leave you to be here. God bless you. And he walked down the beach. And in my imagination, what happened next was there were dogs, there were people, there was the sky, there were the seagulls. But what he told me was, every moment after that moment, he felt joy in his heart for living. He greeted people along the beach, and then he curved into the city, and he had the most marvelous day of interacting with people. This blessedness was flowing through him, that life is beautiful, until he made his way back up the hill home. And that, to me, is a day of light and hope. That's what we have to offer. It started with a dark night of soul and became transcendent because he gave from his heart. And we don't know what that seed of the hue did or will do. It's in the hands of divine spirit and soul itself.